You know, as we head into summer, it is easy to get caught off guard by maybe a sudden illness or maybe an injury. But knowing where to go for care, well, that can save you time, money, and a whole bunch of stress. You know, a recent Yahoo News poll showed that 20% of adults in the United States do not have an identified primary care physician. Today, we're joined by family medicine physician Dr. Shawn Reidy to discuss why having a PCP is one of the best ways to stay healthy and to get the right care when needed. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's start with that question. Why is it so important to have that primary care physician?
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the most favorite things about my job, and honestly is the most rewarding, is having those long-term relationships with patients, with their kids. And so it's really important to establish that early on. And one of the things that you think about is like chronic diseases, things that, you know, that you really need trust in your physician or your practitioner that's going to be helping you out with all those, is you need to have that trust and be able to build it. You have to, things like annual wellness visits, screenings for, you know, all of the types of cancers, vaccines, those things are really important to have with your family physician. So.
Doctor, I got to be honest, when I did the research for this, I was stunned to learn that big of a number was out there, that many people didn't have an identified primary care physician. And this is something that people may think of once a year,
right? You
know, for that wellness visit. But this, as you're mentioning, is something that you really want to do all year long.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, the thing is, you don't want to wait until things are bad to find out that something is going wrong, right? Mm-hmm. The best thing about having a primary care physician is that they can see little changes. They know you. Over the course of years, they'll say, hey, you know, you're looking a little different, you're acting a little different, there's something else going on, and they can kind of see those nuances that you don't get when you go to an urgent care or you go to the emergency room for, you know, acute kind of concerns.
Yeah, it's hard to do that preventative care when you're not going to get the care.
Right,
you
absolutely.
To do that. You must see an uptick, though. So we're here, the summer months are here.
Yeah.
Why is it important to do, I said all year long, but summer months are pretty important.
Yeah, there's definitely seasonality to different kinds of acute things, right? In the winter you have your respiratory illnesses, and that's not to say that they go away in the summer, but they're much less. But people are much more active, they're outside, they're, you know, doing things where they can get hurt. They have sprains, they have cuts, they have lacerations, they get injuries and things like that. So you can still go to your primary care for a lot of those things. But you do want to reserve some of the severe, you know, injuries to go to the ER, and that's what the ER is for.
Yeah, exactly. And the ER, but as we all know, the ER can be, it's its own planet, right? You really, you kind of really want to have to avoid that if you can, and have that relationship with your primary care physician. There are many people watching this right now who haven't seen a doctor in years, right? So what's their first step? They probably feel like, oh my gosh, it's too much to even get into.
Yeah. No, you know, there are so many avenues. You can pick whatever medium you want to try to find your primary care doctor. You know, online resources, you can go online and find anything at, you know, even at Trinity Health, you can look and see who's available. And one of the places I tend to find most of my patients is honestly just word of mouth, talking to your friends, finding out who they like, who they see. And that's really, you get those referrals that way, and that's a great way too. The other way is you can just do it the old-fashioned way and just walk up to your primary care office and ask for an appointment, and they'll be happy to set you up with one. So.
Yeah, it's amazing how some people think that it's that simple.
Right.
It really is that easy. Just pick up the phone, call the doctor. Before I let you go, though, is there a time if someone's unsure whether they should go maybe going to an emergency room or going to get care or just going to see their primary care physician? I'm assuming you've got information at Trinity Health as well on how to make that determination. Yeah,
and that's a really good question, because, you know, our ER folks, you know, all the physicians and all the nurses and staff that work there, they work really hard. They have a really tough job, and so we want to try to make that as easy on them as possible to really understand, to get patients there that really need an emergency type of intervention, right? So the best way is to call your primary care doctors. We're available 24/7, even on weekends and at nights. There's a nurse that's triaging everything. So you can call and they can give you advice on, hey, yeah, this can wait until tomorrow. You can call your primary care doctor, or no, you really need to go to the ER. Or, you know, even if it's during the day, you can call your primary care doctor and they can say, you know, something like this small cut, we can try to fit you in. But if you can't, urgent care is a really good choice for that too.
Well, I don't know about your bedside manner, but your couchside manner is amazing. Are you accepting new patients, doctor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'm in the market, right?
Absolutely.
And if you are too, there's one website and one place you can go, and Trinity Health has that waiting for you. TrinityHealthMichigan.org. if you're hearing Dr. Reidy talk about this relationship that people have with their doctors, you can have that too. You just start that with that first step by getting your primary care physician. We'll be right back.